Better. Awesome. Well, we are here today. It's Wednesday. It's a little groggy outside, but that's okay because we get to talk to Colby from Northwestern Mutual. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, so I want to apologize to everyone. We went live a little late, but I don't think that will take away from the fun that we're about to have getting to know Colby and all he does in our community. So you are new to Rocky River.
Yeah, relatively new. We moved here about 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years Thanksgiving. So my wife and I were living in Atlanta, Georgia, for the last 7 years. Prior to that, and I'm out of stater. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, but my wife's from Avon Lake. So as we were starting our family, we kind of knew that we were feeling that pull to get back closer to grandparents and things like that. And so we looked at Ohio and we looked at Texas, and we had opportunity here in Ohio. So she had always wanted to live in Rocky River, and I do what my wife always wants to do. That's a good policy, I think. So we moved here and we're loving it. Absolutely. We have 2 little girls. Louisa, we call her Lulu. She just turned 3. And we had Josie in February of this year, right before all this COVID stuff. So it's been a pretty jam-packed year and a half, 2 years since we've been here. So
that totally sounds accurate. I will say the first time I think we were supposed to meet was our new member breakfast, and you couldn't make it because you had a baby, which is the only excuse acceptable.
Thankfully, I have a great team, and I had somebody step in for me because I felt bad, but I knew you'd understand. And I appreciate the flexibility.
No, much more important things. I think that's awesome. So you do have an accent, so we all knew you weren't from Rocky River.
Every time I say y'all or something like that, people hear it, and I'm from Fort Worth, so that's kind of north central Texas. Trust me, it's not the twang that you get out in West Texas or East Texas, but when my family's in town, all of our neighbors can tell when they hear them cackling and laughing and everything too. But I try to instill a little bit of that into my kids, just a little.
I think that's perfect. Wait, do you think Ohioans have an accent like everyone around here?
It's not an accent so much. There's just certain things that you say. I mean, pop. Once I hear the word pop, I know I'm in the north, or just other little things like that. But yeah, not an accent, not so much.
Good. When I went away to college, and I just went to Northwestern, Ohio, I went over in the state, but they all thought I had this Cleveland accent. And I was just like, I don't hear it, but if I do, I'm proud of it.
Gotcha. That's right. Represent.
That's right. So how about you tell us about the company you represent, Northwestern Mutual, and what you do there?
Sure. So I'm a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual. My office is down in the Ernst & Young building in the Flats, though since COVID, this has been my office out of my home, like most folks, I think. I work with individuals and families and small businesses, just ensuring that they don't have a financial strategy, that we develop and deploy one, or if they already have a strategy or things in the works, that we're addressing any potential holes or gaps to make sure that they're covered. The work that I do with individuals and families generally lends itself towards investments, insurances, tax, and legacy planning, things like that. On the business front, we work on key executive compensation plans and buy-sell agreements, succession planning, things like that. So it's obviously going to be a little different with every client, but depending on their circumstance. But that's the type of services that we provide.
That's awesome. So when you meet a new client, what are the first steps? Financial planning can be super intimidating, right? So what are the first steps you take with new clients?
Yeah. Well, the first thing I would say is that planning is absolutely a process. It's not an event. So this isn't a one meeting and then I'm going to have this phenomenal thing for you turned around in an hour and give you all these recommendations. Anybody that does that, run the other direction. The nuts and bolts of it are pretty simple. It really comes down to me meeting with the client and gaining an understanding of what they want to achieve, whether that's goals and objectives that are important to them, the vision for their family, their business. That's what we talk about. And we develop a strategy around those objectives, really talking about where we are today versus where we want to be. So We'll have that conversation, and then we'll pair that conversation with an analysis of their personal balance sheet. So let's look at our assets and our liabilities. It's very data driven, what we do. And so, by analyzing that data and using the kind of discovery conversation that we have, we can then engineer that personal planning analysis for them that lays out a clearly defined strategy moving forward. And that's, that sounds intricate. That's really just a couple of conversations to gain an understanding and make sure that we know what's important to you so that we can develop the right plan around it.
Perfect. Like lots of new shoes. That's important to me. So we have to plan accordingly.
That's right. Absolutely.
Awesome. So what is I'm curious if you're allowed to share maybe your philosophy behind investing and saving and all that.
Sure. I mean, I have a personal philosophy. I don't try to impart that onto folks so much. I think, again, that's something that it's going to be unique to the client depending on their objectives. I think ultimately what I try to get everybody to understand is that what we're going to do is definitely more math than it is magic. I'm not going to be able to just have this retirement income appear or these great savings happen. Anything that we're going to achieve, any goal that we're going to accomplish is going to be done by making sure that we implement a disciplined savings strategy. So, I remember an old adage of a goal without a plan is just a dream. So, my job is to make sure that everyone has that plan, that strategy that's going to enable them to achieve their goals. So, generally, when we start the planning process, we're probably not saving as much as we want or as much as we're able to. And that's okay. We're going to kind of eat that financial plan like an elephant, bite by bite, one at a time. And we're going to start taking off bigger chunks and getting to the point that we want to be at over time.
That's awesome. This disciplined saving strategy, that sounds very intimidating.
Hey, it's one of those things where one of the first exercises I have people go through, and it can be daunting because we try to avoid this. I did as well years ago, but just looking at a monthly budget, what's our cash inflow and outflow? Where are our dollars truly going? That is, especially for some young couples or married couples that I work with, that is an eye-opening experience. Even business owners, just knowing exactly where all their dollars are going and what they could be going towards, as opposed to what they're going towards now. Simple exercise like that, which takes maybe 20 minutes, can pay huge dividends as we start that process.
No, that makes total sense. It doesn't seem fun now, but we'll all appreciate it when we get to retire at like a realistic age.
That's right. Absolutely.
So when it comes to your clients, is there a dream person you're like hoping, a dream client you hope to work with, or are you open to anyone? What does that look like?
I'd love to work with LeBron James at some point or somebody like that, but I get this. I get this question a lot when it comes to folks that are, especially from an investment perspective, they're asking me, are there thresholds that people have to hit before they can even work with us? The answer to that is no, first of all. I would tell you that I enjoy meeting with people that they're curious about their financial future. They have questions. That means they're engaged. And then we can figure out a way that I can help them, help serve them to get them towards or closer to those goals. And if that means that we work together now or in the future, that's fine. It's got to be important to them to get the wheels rolling on this process, And that can be people, like I said, that either don't have a clearly defined strategy and want one, or people that already have a plan and they just want another set of eyes to ensure they're doing everything that they can. I get a lot of folks that are close to retirement. They want to make sure they're set up for success and, quite frankly, that they're not going to run out of money. I get people, especially around the time that they're going through some big life-changing events. So starting a family, getting married, planning for their kids' education, starting a business or getting ready to sell a business, et cetera. So those are all things that, again, we shouldn't just dream about, but that we should make sure we have a set strategy around. So I appreciate the opportunity that people give me to kind of come inside their financial picture and help them to work on their vision.
No, I think that's awesome. What's the best way for someone to get in contact with you if they are interested in working with you? Is it email? Is it phone? What should we share with everyone?
I think we'll probably put up my email address or something, or the website. So I've got my email address is Colby Faulder at nm for Northwestern Mutual.com. And then my website is just Colby.Faulder at nm.com. So, it's pretty simple there. But I'm reachable by cell phone or email. It's really whatever medium is most comfortable for the client.
That sounds awesome. So you mentioned you are working from home now with COVID.
Yep. Yep.
Your home office looks very professional, by the way.
This side of it, we worked really hard on this side. So yeah, I appreciate that.
I feel like everyone has like Zoom areas that are acceptable, like that just you clean up the perimeter.
Well, I will, in all honesty, like my wife and I share this because she's been working from home as well. She happens to be out today in the field. She works for Home Depot. And this is generally her side. I got the other side thinking I won't be home very much. And she was probably going to be home more than me. That's completely flipped. But she won't relinquish this side, which I understand. It's a good one. So I generally have the sun beaming in on nice days on the other side of the office. So I let's not tell her I stole her side today. So
no, she'll never see this. Don't worry.
Yeah, hi, Katie.
Aw. Wait, so what else besides working from home? How else has that changed, I guess, your daily routine and how you get to work with your clients?
It changed a lot from a daily routine for me because I think this business in particular, and I'm sure a lot of business owners feel this way, but from my experience, this business was very face-to-face. It was very one-on-one. Let's go grab coffee, grab lunch, people having me into their home when it was convenient for them. Well, obviously, that all came to a screeching halt, and I completely understand that. So it has shifted completely. And I think, in the first few weeks, there was some uncertainty on what we would be doing going forward as people looked for what the normal was going to be. Will we get back to where we were? And now we know if we do, that's going to take some time. So, we adapted, and it's much more virtual and phone conversations, which I'm happy to do. For me, they're actually more efficient because I'm no longer traveling to place to place, and my clients don't have to come downtown if they don't want to, which I completely understand as well. I do miss going to Starbucks or Erie Island or all those great places. Actually, you and I met at Erie Island probably 2 weeks before this whole thing came to a halt, right? With COVID.
It was very close, yeah.
You were one of my last in-person meetings, I think.
Wow.
You and Mike. So we joke about that, but yeah, that's really been how the business has changed, and I do think it's never going to go back to what it was because there have been efficiencies gained here that I certainly appreciate. I think the clients appreciate as well.
Absolutely, I feel like we've all kind of like done a great job pivoting to still make business happen.
Sure.
So we're learning new capabilities that we all have. And it's kind of exciting to see how much more efficient we can be if we don't have to travel to the office or go out to meet a client and all that kind of stuff. So it's been eye-opening, I think, for a lot of folks.
I'm with you. That being said, we've started to get back to those in-person meetings for those folks to feel comfortable, and it's totally up to their discretion. But I am always up for grabbing a coffee, or Rocky River Brewing Company's right up here. I love that place. So yeah, it's up to the client for sure.
Coffee or adult beverage, I like it.
Either way works.
That sounds good. So you obviously have a passion for your career as a financial advisor. So tell us how you involved and what drew you to this career path?
I wouldn't tell you that I was a number cruncher in college, or that I always wanted to work with numbers directly. I did have an interest in finance when I was in school, but I really didn't know how to apply that. I got my business degree. I went to TCU, so go Frogs. I got my business degree in entrepreneurial management. So, I feel like I've always had that business owner mentality. I began working in operations right out of school. So developing relationships and driving results. And that's why I truly love working with business owners today, because I understand their lens of driving the bottom line with the P&L. But, what I liked the most was getting to know my customers and employees, and, hiring, developing, training, and helping people to succeed. And that's where I saw this career as a great fit for me, because it's incredibly fulfilling to work with people to achieve those things that are most important to them with their vision for their family or their business. So, it's kind of the best type of job for me. I really can't see myself doing anything else.
It sounds like a good fit, that's for sure. So when you are not in your role with Northwestern Mutual, what are you doing in your downtime? How do you enjoy your days off?
Well, I did mention I had two young kids, so that's the most of my downtime, if you will. But
Okay.
yeah, and I love it. We got a lot of so we kind of crashed my wife's maternity leave because we had the baby in February and then COVID happened, right? So
Sure.
we got a ton of time with our now 3-year-old as well, and that was. I honestly, it was a blessing. I mean, there were days, don't get me wrong, where it was trying to try and work with all that going on. But, through the summer, we have been spending as much time outside at the pool that we can. My daughter, Lulu, from age 2 to 3, just how much she's grown and how much she loves it now as opposed to last year has been so awesome to see.
Awesome.
Josie's is just flipping over a lot, so she's about to start crawling. So that's been a lot there. And then,
You'll be mobile.
What's that?
You'll be mobile soon. Watch out.
Yeah, that's going to be another great transition. But I do golf in my downtime, though my partners at the outing last week might not agree with that. I didn't show up as well as I could have, but thank you guys for putting that on again. That was such a great event.
Oh no, thank you for participating. I mean, we lucked out with an amazing day, but we were so glad to have you there, and I'm sure the team at Keller Williams was very happy to have you on board. Don't worry.
It was great getting to meet them. Absolutely. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, where do you have a favorite golf course in Northeastern Ohio, or even anywhere?
It's so interesting because growing up in Texas, the public courses really weren't very good. So if you weren't playing a private course, which you had to be invited to and all that, you really didn't want to play. Man, I found the opposite up here. All the municipal courses that I've played, I live right back in the Christensen Estates, so back behind the Home Depot off Center Ridge, essentially. So I'm 5 minutes from Big Met and Little Met. I really enjoy playing those. We play Sweetbriar and Hilliard Lakes quite a bit. So all that stuff on the west side. It's easy to get to. It's a lot of fun. I hadn't played Avon Oaks before, so that was fun getting to play new courses. But that's been the cool thing. Like all the municipal courses up here are in great shape, so it's been a lot of fun.
We are really lucky. I am not a golfer, but my husband and his family are. So
okay.
I hear about it. But
where does he like to play?
Anywhere. He literally.
Okay. All right.
He does. Yeah. No, but this was so great. So besides golfing, what else have you loved doing this summer?
Well, again, when all the COVID stuff happened, we dusted off the Peloton that was in a corner in our basement for sure. So we really enjoyed that. That's awesome. been great. My wife and I both like to be really active. And then the park shut down and, all that stuff went down. So that was a little limiting. So we were at least able to still exercise that way. So that was fun. And then my wife likes to drag me hiking. I'm not the outdoorsy type. I will enjoy it once I get there, but you got to get me there.
So golfing is as outdoorsy as you get.
Yes, but then that's good because you're out in nature, but you can have a beverage and it's a sport. It's not that taxing, but you can still enjoy it.
No, I think that's awesome. Do you do bike trails too? You mentioned the Peloton. Are you a biker?
Okay, so I have a bike. I do.
Okay.
I have not. I think I've used it once since we moved here.
Oh my!
So hanging in our garage. I know it's bad. I like the Peloton because I view it as exercise. So it's a defined time. I'm going to go out on my bike for just a ride type of guy. I'm more, let's do 30 minutes of intense. Let's get off and be done with it.
Check it out.
My viewpoint, at least. Yeah,
I like it.
But
again, beautiful. So I feel like you should dust off the bicycle and just.
I need to. I know. All right. Again, if Katie's watching, she'll appreciate that you said that because she tries.
I hope she is.
Yep.
This was so fun catching up with you. You joined, like we talked about just recently, earlier this year. So there haven't been as many in-person events, but you have done an awesome job of coming to the ones that you could, like our happy hour in February and then the golf outing. So we very much appreciate that. Hopefully you get to meet more people in the chamber, whether it's virtually or, soon again at an event. We can't wait for that to happen.
I look forward to it too. Yeah, but I think both events I came to prior to COVID, I won stuff at, so I appreciate that. On top of getting to meet people, I won something just for showing up. You guys know how to keep me coming back. So that was great.
We love our prizes here. That's awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying your winnings. That's for sure.
Very nice. No, but thanks so much. Thanks
Oh,
for
of course.
having me. I really appreciate it.
This was awesome. Thank you for chatting. And we look forward to seeing you, whether it's virtually or in person, very soon.
Absolutely, Angela. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You
We'll
too.
see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.